experiences, Napa Valley wine tasting, spoiling my women friends, sitting at the table with millionaires. The narrative is tax loops, accounts offshore squares. It's not allowed. Yo, what's good, what's good? It's your man Ken Billions. How is everybody out there? All my loved ones, all my peoples. It's good to see you again. Been a little while since our last bill, but we back in here doing what we do over here. You know what we do here at Coin Gang. It's the number one place for personal development. This is the number one place where when you come, you leave better than when you came. You're a little wiser. You're a little sharper, right? You're more smarter. You're more skillful. You know more. You become the tallest tree in the forest. What's good with y'all? Y'all know over here is heaven on earth. It's top show for nothing. You know it's necessary narcissism. You know what we do over here. But yeah, man, it's always good to come back with my peoples, man, and get to build. Anytime we get to come together with one mind and one goal to better ourselves, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I always say it, this don't work without y'all, right? So y'all allow me to do my work. Because if there's no you, then there is no me. I gotta find something else to do. So I value your attention, and we can't do this without each other. So yeah, you already know it's about to be a 9 on the dope. How are you? How's your children? Make sure you keep your babies close. I'm so excited to be here. I'm about to cook up, maybe hurt a little feelings. I hope not, because it's an opportunity for us to learn and always get a different perspective. And I just want to challenge your comfort zone, because what I'm about to talk about today is a challenge to my comfort zone. All right. Today, we are talking about the power of man's mind. You know, I like to talk about the mind a lot. So we're going to definitely dig into the power of man's mind. We're going to talk about the madness of groups. Like everybody's in a group. There is no such thing as individuality. If I say something you don't like, you'll be like, see, there goes, see, black men. No. I'm an individual, right? So if I win or lose, it's because of me. But we have a habit of seeing everything as a group. Like, I'm not an individual. I'm black men. No, I'm Ken Billions. We're going to talk about education without correction. It's a lot of education going on, but no correction. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the male dancer. The male dancer. And that's an important topic because it's my firm belief, to be popular among women right now, a dude has to be a male dancer. And we're going to finish it up with what will history say about you? The topic of today is the Shade Room Shawty. Game for the modern woman from a man's perspective. The Shade Room Shawty. Game for the modern woman or women from a man's perspective. From a man's perspective. Now, you know I don't do no woman bashing. I hate that word, but I'm going to use it for today. This is straight up game from my POV. All right? So, let me tell you, I grew up in hip hop culture. In hip hop culture, the boys and girls played together. We climbed trees together. We rode bikes together. We got in trouble together. We ditched class together. Growing up hip hop, there was no separation between the girls and the boys. Growing up in hip hop, I never heard anything about masculinity. Growing up in hip hop, I never heard anything about femininity. Now, my hip hop life cycle was the 90s to the early 2000s when I was really in it. Okay? All right? So there was no separation. So the conversations that I hear now from people are weird to me because hip hop was my religion. Again, I didn't look at T-Boz and be like, oh, she ain't feminine. I didn't look at Queen Latifah and be like, she ain't feminine. Because hip hop, we did everything together. Now there's a clear line in the sand that people are drawing with these weird ideals. And they're internet ideals, but the things that are happening in virtual reality are manifesting itself in the real world. So these weird conversations that are happening online are now happening in real time, where people are talking about feminine and masculine energy. Number one, that means we have a lot of time on our hands. Number two, that tells me that we're not oppressed as we think. Because I don't think oppressed people that are really in warfare, would have that much time to argue back and forth about something that is very subjective based on the culture that you live in. Nonetheless, growing up in hip hop, I never had those conversations. So that's why it's very weird to me to see girls and guys go back and forth, because growing up in hip hop, the lines in the sand were, are you real or are you fake? Are you a sucker or are you a bitch? That's it. Are you a real ass chick? Are you a real ass dude? Are you a fake ass chick? Are you a fake ass dude? There was no, he ain't masculine. No, he's a sucker. There was no, she ain't feminine. No, no, no. She's just a sucker. So these things that y'all playing with, I'm watching from a distance, and I'm going to tell you, y'all are weird as hell. And y'all are socially awkward. And that tell y'all wasn't off the porch. So y'all are having the conversation because the real has been taken away from the game. The real guys and the real girls are missing. So the socially awkward, it's your time to shine. And they do say the first shall be last and the last shall be first. So I guess that's true. But nonetheless, your gender wars and conversations are weird to me. It's unhip hop. So I fuck with all the female content creators. I like Cynthia G. I listen to the Pink Pill. I like Yanni. I mean, all of them. You know why? Because that's their perspective. And in hip hop, you got to respect people's bars, even if you don't like what they're talking about. That's the game. It might not be your album, but you respect people's bars. All right? So I respect the shorty's perspective, even if they swirling. That's their bars, because I follow hip hop codes. I respect the red pill dudes. I don't agree with a lot, but that's their bars. It would be unhip hop of me to look down on it. I could disagree, but that's what it is. So these platforms that we have is nothing but albums on record labels. Same thing. So this mixtape you got, I might skip this one and go to the next one. I wanted to lay that foundation so I could go into my subject matter. And I'm going to start here, the power of man's mind. So before I go in more, I'm not a white knight. I'm not looking for no pussy. That's easy. I'm not nobody's savior. I'm just a game spitter. You ready? Let's go. Whoever controls technology controls people's beliefs. Remember this and keep that all the way through the lesson. Whoever controls technology controls people's beliefs. Modern history, the belief system has been controlled by men. Female nature was created by men, not women. I'm going to prove that. If you don't control the technology, you cannot control the narrative. Humans used to war with shit like this right here. They're just rocks. They're very sharp. And first they started in people's hands. and you would hit each other upside the head. Then humans got smart and turned these rocks into spears. And whoever was the best fighter with these objects, you got to control other people's belief system. Okay? Then what happens is those people that you control begin to have children. And those children begin to think that the world that they believe in has always been like that. And then they'll start thinking that current way of life has been the natural way of life. And it hasn't. Then humans do what humans do, figure out more lethal and more efficient ways to kill. That's all we do on this planet is kill each other and take each other's shit. So I want you to know what you think about the world. You're not thinking about that from a conqueror's perspective. Because 9 times out of 10, you haven't conquered anyone. So you have inherited a perspective. Now, if the perspective benefits you, you will ride out for the perspective, even if it ain't true. It doesn't matter. It feeds you, which I understand. Self-preservation is the first law of nature. So I totally get it. So you will follow a perspective and believe in it, even if historically it ain't true. Nonetheless, human beings have mastered the art of killing each other. So we go from rocks to longer forms of warfare. Then we go to shooting things, right? So we weren't just hunting animals with these things, with bow and arrows. We're shooting each other in the neck, in the foot, in the back, because that's what humans do. But then something really, really, really changed the game. We go from this right here and over the course of time go here, which is gunpowder. The way that you think about the world or what you think about yourself or these generalizations that you make about men and women, it's based on gunpowder. Think about what it was like for an indigenous person when they're first battling the conquistadors. And these conquistadors have advanced form of warfare. So these indigenous who never seen an image of Caesar Borgia, they're now about to worship this image because the conquistadors are on horses and have long swords and then through time have gunpowder. And these people were superstitious. So when the conquistador would use their weapons, the Aztecs, the Incas, these indigenous cultures thought that these people were gods because after all, they're shooting fire. Well, doing what humans do, gunpowder forms more ways to kill. So now you got cannonball. And I don't care how tough you are. If someone pulls up with advanced warfare, they could take your woman and your child and you're going to get down on one knee and you're going to follow whatever custom and God that these people offer to you. Get down or lay down. And then we keep going. Humans keep figuring out better ways to kill each other. If these are riding down your street, I don't care if you are a Muslim, I don't care if you are a Christian, whatever you believe femininity is, masculinity is, whatever your belief system, I promise you, you will change it. Because people have a fear of death. You don't believe in what you believe that much that you're going to willing to keep this belief system with this coming down your street. I'll do you one better. Whoever is in control of this right here. Now look how far we went from using stones to here. Where am I going with this? I want to tell you. Women don't control none of this shit. Guys do. So what we say about women, that ain't even their story. It's our story about them or what we think about them. So a lot of guys' heart breaks, or they are so angry or dissatisfied, is because what they think about women is not true. Men are finally learning for the last 1500, 2000 years that women are human, not things, not objects, human. Now, why are men learning this? Is because the resources are being distributed differently. So you could control a narrative back then with this, and you could control it now with this. But we're in the future. So narratives are controlled with algorithms. Algorithms now control narratives. So where I once could make you get down or lay down to believe a certain thing, now your algorithm makes you get down or lay down, and it recommends what it thinks you like. So on your phone, if your shit says women ain't shit, she's for the streets, blah, 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 that's all you see every day. And you still are thinking that you are learning about female nature, but you are not learning about female nature. What you are learning is the ideals about women that men created, not women. What is the oldest book written? What is the oldest book in your library written by a woman? From what culture? What is the oldest book ever written by a woman on femininity? Where you think these ideals come from? And by the time this is done, I'm going to show you that this all comes out the mind of man and how this has created the Shade Room Shawty. Y'all good? Make sure you like and share the video. Before we really get into it, we have to walk it down, and we got to start with the rise of agriculture. Because women, you don't even know why you think the way you think. You don't even know why you believe what you believe. You think, and you've been taught, that a male, because of a body part, is a natural, by nature, protector and provider. Protector from what? Does it look like the average guy can protect himself? If the male by nature was naturally like that, then one civilization wouldn't be able to take over other civilizations like that. By nature, if the male was a natural protector and provider, why are guys joining gangs? Because they're scared. Why are guys looking for leadership? That is not a natural. Natural means you were born like that. No matter what, that's your nature. Let me tell you what is natural to human beings. Anger. You're born with it. No one taught you it. Laughter. You're born with it. No one taught you it. When you were born, you went straight to the nipple. That's nature. Asians do it. Europeans do it. Africans do it. We all use the bathroom. That's human nature. What y'all are talking about is conditions based on societies that you live in, and you're calling it natural, and you're trying to rewrite history. But let's start with the rise of agriculture, though, because the rise of agriculture is super important. You know why? Because people were very nomadic before. Hey, did you know that indigenous tribes used to share women? Did you know that no one used to know who the baby belonged to? That's why it was all their kid. Did you know that? Because there was no such thing as private property. Did you know that? Do you even the ideals of monogamy? That's new. You know that, right? Do you know that there's start dates for that? So we're going to go from the rise of agriculture, the fall of Assyria, Babylon, and the rise of Hebrew culture and monotheistic religion. That's how we got here. The rise of agriculture, because agriculture made people begin to live in one area because of farming. And then you have the fall of polytheistic religions and the rise of monotheistic religions, which is Abrahamic. So you were taught to believe in the gods of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, even though you ain't from Babylon or Assyria or Mesopotamia. Y'all ready? Y'all good? All right, let's do it. We're going to start with the rise of agriculture. So, ladies, this is important because I want to get you away from being a shade room shorty. You popping, you got lashes, you but you don't really know what time it is. Because on one hand, you get in your bag, but you're talking about outdated shit. And if you're gonna be that bitch, then you really need to know what's going on. And I'm not talking about education. I'm talking about doing the knowledge. All right? So let's start with the rise of agriculture. Real quick. Let's do it.
The last ice age ended a little over 10,000 years ago. At that point, human communities in different parts of the world began using a range of new technologies to increase the energy and resources they could extract from their environments. We call these new technologies agriculture, and its development is our seventh threshold. What ingredients led to this threshold? Well, first, thanks to collective learning, humans had accumulated vast knowledge about their environments over many generations. Second, by the end of the last ice age, humans had also settled all parts of the world, and some began to live in denser communities. Populations increased, and some regions, such as Mesopotamia, began to have about as many people as foraging techniques could support. Now, more people meant you had to try to get more food from a given area. So some groups started using simple forms of irrigation, or they planted wheat, or they herded goats and cattle for their meat. These experiments were the beginning of agriculture. Global climates also got warmer and more stable than ever before. These conditions made it possible to plant and tend crops with some confidence that they would yield abundant harvests. Within a few generations, some plants and even some animals became domesticated or more dependent on humans. And as animals became tastier or more nutritious or more docile, they became more attractive to farmers. Farming took off and began to spread around the world. Agriculture was really a way to increase the amount of the sun's energy that was used by our own species. So humans began changing the plants, the animals, and the landscapes around them so that they could use more and more of the products of photosynthesis. This energy bonanza led to the creation of villages, of cities, and of huge agrarian civilizations. Eventually, an even bigger energy bonanza would steer human history towards threshold number 8, the modern revolution.
All right. All right. So we had to go back to school for a second for a reason. All right. Hey, and if you on my Facebook chat, I did not write that comment. I be getting like Bitcoin hacked. I don't send messages like that. I'll never send no kind of message like that. If I'm not promoting ebooks or some shit like that or campaign, that's not even my drip. But they're able to like take your name and then so that was not me. Uh, so the rise of agriculture, very, very, very important because you got a few things happening here. You have the rise of private property and you have the rise of people staying in one spot and mating. All right. So just think about the idea of a 30-year mortgage. Why would people live in an area for 30 years when humans are used to following their food? Okay, so humans historically traveled with their houses on their backs. But with the rise of agriculture, people were staying in one spot. And because they stayed in one spot, they wanted to begin to pass what they created to their offspring. But the offspring turned male. And women agreed on this in the beginning. This is your rise of patriarchy, but it's mixed with monotheism, though. So think about it. Food always is connected to some type of spirituality because it's hierarchy of needs. So the better we eat, the more we come up with abstract concepts. All right. Prior to that, there was no things such as gender roles. It wasn't specific. There was no, oh, a man is a protector and a provider. What? That's not what the world looked like. All right. So the Hebrew religion becomes the dominant religion after the fall of Assyria and Babylon. All right. Let me show you Assyria real quick. This is the area that Assyria covered. And Babylon and Assyria, their cultures, a lot of their ways and practices was from a previous culture called Samaria. And many of you heard of things like the Anunnaki and stuff like that. So everything that you hear from the Old Testament, the Bible, you'll see some historical people in there like Babylon and Nebuchadnezzar. Those places and people, or some of them were actually real people, but the mythology about it is not real. And it's woven together with a mixture of cultures. All right. But inside of these, the ideology is this ideal about men and women, and the Old Testament is like a mirror of Hammurabi's law. Let me show you Hammurabi's law if you've never heard about that, because here's where the Ten Commandments comes from. So it's funny when people use scripture, the Bible, as if this is the way the world was. But I understand using it because it's about survival. So if I could put a woman in her place and say, I heard a dude say sometime, I heard a dude say recently, oh, the woman was made for man. Not really? I'm like, where'd you get that from? Oh, the Bible. So the woman's entire purpose is to be a man's helpmeet. I'm like, wow. Okay. I could dig it. I could dig it if it's true, but it's not true. So the Code of Hammurabi was written in 1700 BC. 1 second. This is super important because here's where you get a lot of your patriarchal ideals from. Hammurabi, all right? He was the king of Babylon. But even though Babylon fell, a lot of their traditions wound up in Hebrew culture. So he had laws about justice, property, irrigation, trade. But the ones I want to talk about are the family laws. Now, mind you, this is written in the year 1700 BCE. So notice when I read some of these, how some of these ideals still live today. You know how they say there's nothing new under the sun? Well, it's not. And here's the thing, and I have to say it. A lot of males have inherited shit they have not earned. A lot of males talk of women submitting as if that is the natural state of the woman. It is not. That's not my opinion. They are inheriting ideals and concepts of ancient kings and these kings set rules for their culture because that was the ideology of that time. But you have not earned none of the things you're talking about. And what's happening is because there's a resource distribution that is differently than the past. Men are like, well, I got a job. Why can't I get a woman? Because women have choices now. For 2,000 years, the choice for mating was taken. So even if a man's breath stink, he could still get a woman. Even if he wasn't funny, he could still get a woman. Even if he was gruesome in the face, he could still get a woman. Because it was either get with a man or starve or stay with your father. And fathers at that time were like, hey, the only way we could come up a lot of times is to marry our daughter off with somebody. So the daughter was used as a leveraging tool to get resources. This is what the world was after the fall of Assyria and Babylon and the rise of monotheistic religion. Since you follow the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, these are the roles associated to you because of that belief system. Now, why would you follow Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and that ain't your culture? Does that make sense to you? You don't even know these people. Why would you follow other people's gods? Why would you follow a system of gods that don't benefit you? The purpose of belief in God is to have perks. What is the perks of the God? If I'm praising and following a deity and a system that does not benefit me, I got to swap it out for some deities and ideals that benefit me. I have a book on religions that's like 5 inches thick. Do you know how many gods it has been in the world? Each culture develops a deity system. And whoever wins the war, that's the deity you got to follow. But why are you following deities that does not benefit you? If you are uncomfortable in your life, you got to check your deity system. All right. But look, so this is Hammurabi's law. Okay. And this is where the Old Testament traditions come from. All right. So it's like when I leave America, and I plan to, wherever I set up at, I'm going to create a way of life. But in the way of life that I create on foreign territory, it's going to have some Bay Area traditions in it. It's going to have some traditions from Houston. It's going to have some traditions from Northern Cali. It's going to have slang from New York. That's how Hebrew culture was. So even though Assyria and Babylon fell, there's still traditions from those cultures that found its way into Hebrew culture. All right. So let's look at the family rules according to the king of Babylon, Hammurabi. Peep this. This is not a book. This was written on scrolls for Hammurabi. Matter of fact, let me do this. Let me put it in the chat. This is a document, so y'all can go check it out on your own. Put this in the chat for y'all. It's called the Code of Hammurabi. And when you read it, you'll be like, damn, this sounds like the 10 Commandments. All right. So let's hear how Hammurabi looks at women and males in his particular culture. Now, this is like 4,000 years ago. All right. All right. Where we at? All right. So, family. If the wife of a man is caught lying with another man, they shall bind them and throw them into the water. If the husband of the woman wishes to spare his wife, then the king shall spare his servant. If a man has ravished another betrothed wife who is a virgin while still living in her father's house and has been caught in the act, the man shall be put to death. The woman shall go free. Right? If a man, law 131. If a man has accused his wife, but she has not been caught lying with another man, she shall take an oath in the name of God and return to her house. If a man wishes to divorce his wife, who has not borne him children, he shall give her money to the amount of her marriage price, and he shall make good to her the dowry which she brought from her father's house, and then he may divorce her. Mind you, everything we think is natural is nothing but politics. Do y'all know, like, we're living in a production of people that have ruled the world? You notice you don't read any journals from regular people 2,000 years ago? It's only dynasties. And foolishly, y'all doing the same thing now by keep talking about stars. Because as you talk about them, who do you think the future is going to look back on? Your memory, every single thing you've done in your life, no one's ever going to know about it. But they will know about Cardi. They will know about LeBron. They will know about Usain Bolt. But all your work, everything you've done, history's never going to know about it. And that's how it is. Because we only remember the stars. All right. If the wife of a man who is living in her husband's house has persisted in going out, has acted the fool, has wasted her house, has belittled her husband, he shall prosecute her. If her husband has said, I divorce her, she shall go her way. He shall give her nothing as her price of divorce. If her husband has said, I will not divorce her, he may take another woman to wife. The wife shall live as a slave in her husband's house. Now, mind you, one thing you ain't gonna see is anything talking about love at all. You will not see nothing talking about love. Oh, true love and no. None of that. And we're still carrying on these ideals today. We're trying to remix it, but you can't put new wine in old wine bottles, y'all. All right? So we're reading Hammurabi's Law, which is your modern day Old Testament, which is your modern day 10 Commandments. And everything we think about, oh, a husband and a wife, it's created by men. Women didn't have no say so in the establishment of relationship dynamics. None. So this is why we had to have a conversation with the Shade Room Shorty. Baby girl, what the hell are you doing with your image? Because now, for the first time in the last 2,000 years, power is going back in your hands. But freedom, shit, don't mismanage it, homegirl. Let's keep going. If a woman has hated her husband and has said, you shall not possess me, her past shall be inquired into what she lacks. If she has been discreet, has no vice, and her husband has gone out and has greatly belittled her, that woman has not blamed. She shall take her marriage portion and go off to her father's house. If a man has presented a field, garden, house, or goods to his wife, has granted her a deed of gift, her children, after her husband's death, shall not dispute her right. The mother shall leave it after her death to the one of her children who she loves best. She shall not leave it to an outsider. If a man's wife, for the sake of another, has caused her husband to be killed, that woman shall be impaled. Do y'all know what impaled is? I don't even want to say it on live. That might give channel flag. Y'all need to look up what impaled is. If a man, listen to this. If a man has committed incest with his daughter, that man shall be banished from the city. Now listen to the next line. If a man has betrothed a maiden to his son, and his son has shown her, and afterward the man has lain in her bosom and been caught, the man shall be strangled, and she shall be cast into the water. Hold on. If a man has brought a gift to the house of his father-in-law and has paid the marriage price, looks with longing upon another woman, and say to his father-in-law, I will not marry your daughter. The father of the daughter shall take to himself whatever was brought to him. If a man sets his face to disinherit his son and say to the judges, I will disinherit my son, the judges shall inquire into his record, and his son has not committed a crime sufficiently grave to cut him off from the sonship, the father may not cut off his son from sonship. If a man's wife bears him children, and his maidservant bears him children, and father during his lifetime says to the children which the maidservant bore him, my children, and reckons with them with the children of his wife, after the father dies, the children of the wife and the children of the maidservant shall divide the goods of the father's estate equally. The son of the wife shall have the right of choice at the division. Hey, there's no if there's nothing. This is all for guys. Y'all know that, right? This will make you a shade room shorty, because with all your liberation, with all your freedoms, homegirl, with all of your we turning up, with all that, you don't know shit though. So how is you going hard on person of individuality, but at the same time, you talking about ideals from BC time? Make it make sense. It's more laws against women in this, but if a man has incest with his daughter, he just gonna get put out the city. You getting thrown in the water, you getting impaled. But if a man lays with his daughter, oh, he think he's gonna get kicked out of the city. That's Hammurabi law. That's your modern day Old Testament. Here's your origins of patriarchy with the rise of agriculture. So now you know. Now you know. So when I say that men control female nature, I really mean that. If you go online, you'll hear guys talking about, oh, that's not ladylike. Women are not defining what ladylike is. Guys are. So much so that when a man turns into a trans, he has a nature about of what he's doing or she's doing, whatever. Women don't even be acting like that. So the man is always going to tell you how to be a woman. It's the man that tells you how to be a woman. You need to think about that for a second. Oh, that's not feminine. That's him saying that. Oh, that's not ladylike. That's him saying that. Show me the ancient documents written by women for women about the art of femininity and female nature. What's the book? What's the book written in BC times describing what femininity is? Someone drop it in my chat. If this is how it always was, right? Then show me the book written by women for women on how to be a lady. I'll show you the book written for women on how to be a woman, the Bible, written by men. So female nature is an ideal in the mind of guys. Everything about a woman comes out the mind of a man. So Shade Room Shorty, with the power finally going back into your hands, what are you going to do with your personal design? Do you got the confidence enough to stand on your own two and write your own narrative? You got guys telling you, that's why you're going to die alone. Who the hell can predict the future? Who knows these kind of things? Who's going to die alone and what? That's, again, guys telling you about you. And then what y'all do foolishly, stupidly, run up under these niggas. Tell us, give us our value. Rate me. What do you think about me? No, Shade Room Shorty, what do you think about you? What do you think about you? For real. What do you think about you? Why you running to guys? Why you running to dudes? Help me. Tell me my rating. What? Huh? You want to go back up under Hammurabi? Babylon fell. Why are you trying to run back up under Babylon? Why are you trying to run back up under Assyria and Babylon? Why are you trying to run up under the gods of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? You don't even know them. That ain't your uncles. That ain't your grandfather. That ain't your cousins. You don't even know them. You following the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and in that belief system, you are running up to dudes and asking for a rating. That ain't sovereignty. That ain't accountability. That's why you the Shade Room Shorty. Because you don't know what to do with your freedom that you have in your hands. They have put it in your hands now. The internet has neutralized everything for a moment of time where you can be an individual and you're like, here, no, give it back. Men, please tell me who I am. Judge me. Give me a rating. Tell me about my nature. I want to put y'all on a book real quick. And I'm going to read the summary to the book. A book y'all should read. So y'all can understand patriarchy. Because y'all don't understand it. Y'all don't understand agriculture. Y'all don't understand empires and belief systems and weapons and how you begin to see the world the way that you do. Remember I said, and these are things that you could do your own research on. Assyria, all right? Babylon, all right? Polytheism and monotheism. Because Western culture is Judeo-Christian. So it is a mixture of belief systems for 1,000 years from the Mesopotamia region going up into Europe. And those people that believe that came here and set up a civilization. And you have been born into that civilization, born into those ideals, but that's all they are. It's ideals. It is not nature. You know what is nature? Your menstrual cycle. Did you have a choice in that? No, you didn't. It came with the female meat suit. That's nature. That's how nature works. See, you don't gotta know another woman, but guess what? Y'all share something in common. Menstrual cycle. That's nature. You go to Asia, guess what they have? Menstrual cycle. You go to Australia, guess what they have? Menstrual cycle. Everything else is human conditioning based on whoever controls the pen. That is it. And once children are born into society of the person that controls the pen, the children will begin to see the world the way the person with the pen does, and they'll begin to think that this is how the world has always looked. So you don't even know what to do with yourself if a nigga's not lording over you. Do this, do this, do this. You don't even know what to do with your freedom. That's why you in comment sections. That's why you messy and you screenshotting. And what you're doing is making it seem like you need a nigga over your life because you don't know what to do with your free time. Shade Room Shawty. So you want freedom or you want to go back to Hammurabi's law? Do you need somebody on your helmet telling you to pick this up and do that? Because what you do with your freedom, I don't know, Shade Room Shorty. But I want to show y'all something, and it's a book that you guys should check out by a female author. And the book is called The Creation of Patriarchy. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read the summary of the book. All right? It's called The Creation of Patriarchy. And the author is, what's her name? Just had it. Gerda Learners. GERDALERNERS. No, LERNER. LERNER. Gerda Learners. All right. And her book is The Creation of Patriarchy, The Origins of Women's Subordination. All right. The origins of women's subordination. So I'm just going to read the summary. Now, notice in her summary, she's going to be talking about the things that I just was saying, and I didn't even know that this book existed, and I already had my notes going, and I Googled Mesopotamia and patriarchy, and her book came up. All right. So look, this is just a summary of her book, and it's called The Creation of Patriarchy. I'm going to just read a few paragraphs. All right. Much of the work focuses on findings from where? Mesopotamia, Hebrew and Abrahamic regions. Historical research often conducted by men problematically excludes women, therefore perhaps at times inadvertently implicating that women were unfit in shaping society. This is likely because the scholarly focus of historical study has primarily paid attention to efforts which women had no part in, such as warfare. Lerner importantly points to the blindsidedness in order to give evidence of patriarchy's imprint on historical memory. Other noteworthy pursuits include education and scholarship, meaning that women were excluded in key areas such as philosophy, science, and law, because women had no role in interpreting events. They were not given the opportunity to shape the historical memory. Why is that important? Ain't I telling you that men created female nature? If you don't have an opportunity to interpret historical events, you don't get to participate in philosophy, science, and nothing that is shaping the world. And then you think that this has always been like this. All right. Lerner emphasizes that contrary to our flawed historical memory, women have always been and will always be equally essential contributors to society. Lerner's research attempts to subvert the patriarchal pattern of women's exclusion in theory formation, and therefore to challenge contemporary society to correct our historical memory. And that's all we're talking about, y'all, historical memory. Men do this, women do this. Where do we get these ideals from? Nah, this is what men do. Hypergamy. Really? Really? Yo, keep it a stack. I'm just being honest. If women are hypergamous, like men claim, then the majority of women wouldn't be monogamous to niggas with no money. I don't think a lot of guys understand what social media has allowed to happen. This has allowed blue check niggas with bread to holler at regular women. And don't get it twisted. Every woman ain't going. That's what y'all don't know. And I got proof that every nigga ain't going because I get to see the blue checks that be hollering at my female friends and they don't bite. Guess who they do bite on though? A regular dude. Hypergamy though, right? If they were naturally hypergamous, your uncle would not have his woman. Your grandfather would not have your grandmother. If this is really woman's nature, if this is dudes saying this, you know why? Because dudes be in bromances with other guys. That's what y'all would do. Y'all would have a baby with that nigga. I'm just keeping it a stack because I be listening. Y'all be projecting. Y'all be secretly in a bromance with each other, and you think the way you see a dude, a woman sees a dude the same way. That ain't true. That's not true. Let me say that again. The mistake that men are making is because you don't think women have any individuality. That's your problem right there. See, because men control female nature, men can't process a woman outside of her being a mother or having children or being a wife. So he can't see that a woman is a individual. So when guys look at guys, you think that the woman is looking at him the same way because you don't look at the woman as an intellectual being. It's men that said women are emotional. It's men that said men are logical, even though logic is a branch of philosophy. It's a training. It is not natural to a male to be logical. Logic is a training that you actually had to have money to go sit down and talk to philosophers to train you in different ways of thinking. The average poor man historically did not have the opportunity to sit at the feet of people like Aristotle or Himotep or Socrates. People that would do something with the mind to make you see the world differently. That school of thought wasn't available to everybody. But men have been controlling the historical memory. So we speak in huge generalizations. Oh, men are logical, women are emotional. Really? Really? If men are logical and women are emotional, then why are you telling the women to pick better men? How can a emotional person make those kind of decisions? Make it make sense. Because to pick something, you got to study, right? You got to pay attention to patterns, right? You got to have estimation. You have to be able to predict the outcome of a particular behavior. to pick, right? Now, a person that's emotional is not going to be able to do that, right? But at the same time, the man is logical, right? Then why do men respond to heartbreak the way that they do? When you break a man's heart, that shit is broke forever. Now, that is not the behavior of a logical person. But I get it. When you inherit these ideals from conquering kings, you yourself begin to think that you're the conquering king, and you are not the conquering king, because you were born in a world that put the woman in a position, and what that did was give you entitlement in your mind to think that you were a lord over her. But you did not earn what was placed on you. You just the beneficiary of cultures that had ill-ass technology. You happen to be born in the country in a country with the illest military in the world, and the dollar has been dominant. So Judeo-Christian values have benefited you, even though you haven't earned it. So secretly, you feel like a fraud. Because how is that manhood if the culture that you're living in is telling the woman to behave like that? So she's not doing it for you. That ain't no real choose up for real, for real. Anybody gonna act a certain type of way if it's risk starving to death. So you mean to tell me I gotta submit and then shit, I could get a crib? Fuck it. Man, whatever. Shit, who wouldn't? Starvation to make a motherfucker do a lot of things. Nah, I want the real choose up. For real, for real. I don't want no woman choosing up on me because the Bible told her to. I don't want no woman choosing up on me because of social pressure. Nah. Choose up because I'm the genuine article. Choose up because I'm me. Not because the world said, this is what I got to do. That ain't individuality, yo. I feel like a fraud because it ain't held together by nothing. And the first sign that this person could get away, why wouldn't they? Man, people want the opportunity to have agency over their life, man. To have a real choice. And if they win or lose, they're good with it because they chose. Come on, man. That's sovereignty. That's government right there. To say, I picked that because I wanted that. Not the culture. The Constitution, people come to America because of the ideals in the Constitution. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Individual rights. So how can we have individual rights, but y'all talking about our women? That doesn't sound like individual rights. How you going to claim a whole body of people? That's empire talk. And humans do that. But the way that you say our is through domination. That's mine. Because I put the beats on it. Our women. Man, you don't even know her favorite color, man. What the fuck? I don't expect no woman to wake up and be loyal to me because I happen to be brown skin. That's the luck of the dice. I could have woke up Asian. And I could have been Irish. I just happened to be born at the time I'm born and I'm brown. And based on that, That's my group of women right there. Fuck out of here. We're in the future. Not Hammurabi, but let me finish this up. This is Gerda Lerner's The Creation of Patriarchy, and I'm just reading a summary of it, all right? All right. What began as an attempt to organize daily tasks, we're talking about agriculture now, all right? What began as an attempt to organize daily tasks transformed into the formation of gender roles, which eventually resulted in women's exclusion from education and positions of influence or leadership altogether. A, peep this. What began as an attempt to organize daily tasks transformed into a formation of gender roles. I don't think ancient women knew the outcome of what was going to happen with this right here. It took a life of its own. This practice of power and place in society led to enslavement. In fact, the first slaves were female. Male dominance over women became the new socially and culturally adapted norm. Lerner argues that women, in some respects, relented this domineering control to men. The popular preference to stay home, raise children, and tend to the home soon became the only acceptable, and then in many ages and places, the only allowable option for women. Is this simping? This might be simping, but this is history. Is it simping even if it's history? Whatever. Laws were put in place which enforce this delegation of gender roles, officially determining women's exclusion from education, law, and theory formation, thereby preventing their participation in legislation formation and minimizing women's presence in the collective historical memory. The Hammurabi Code, I just read that, is a famous example of this institutionalization of patriarchal family model. In such, the social status of the male determines that of the female because women were not granted the same access and ability to gain power and influence of their own. I just read the Hammurabi laws to you. That was in 1700 BCE. As people further developed and refined their cultural symbolism and religious doctrines, feminine figures began to disappear. Goddesses who were previously worshipped for their sexuality and fertility disappeared in favor of the Abrahamic. Female sexuality, once praised for its life-giving force, was then condemned as being sinful. Is that why they react that way to WAP? Do you know there's this ideal that the woman is naturally monogamous? Do you know that's not historically correct? Monogamy was created for men, not women. For men. So men would know who their children were so they can pass them things down. This was happened with the rise of agriculture. Historically, human nature, everybody fucks everybody. The woman in history is by nature naturally promiscuous. Why do you think is so many laws governing women's sexuality? If the woman was not naturally promiscuous, you would never need to iron fist these laws. Monogamy is for guys. It's a sure way that the bottom tier guy at least gets a wife. Women did not create monogamy. Guys did. For men, by men. It is another way to stop coup d'etats. Because if I'm the one with all the women, best believe these guys are going to come for my head. So it is a smart move if I'm in power to ensure that all these guys get access to pussy. And guess what? They won't come for the rich man. Who's all the guys that have a problem with the way women are behaving right now? Is it the rich man or is it the poor man? Is the rise of the red pill and the black pill and the so-called incel, is this billionaire men? Is this men making 100 million? Or is this socially awkward men that traditionally would be able to have a wife? Is it these guys that are being locked out of the sexual marketplace? Tell the truth. And just a heads up, so you know about the kid. Ken Billions been putting them on their back since 1997. So I do not gotta simp for no pussy. Trust and believe that. That has never been a problem for me. I'm trying to make $100 million. That's my problem. But bottoms, man, since the 90s. Niggas know. You just gotta put it out there because I know how people, you're simping. Come on, bro. Think about it, yo. This ideal that women by nature are monogamous. First of all, that's a personal choice. That is not the nature of the human. You wouldn't have all these people in the world, first of all. You have to create laws. You have to create legislation to stop that. Just putting it out there. Because this is a conversation for the Shade Room Shorty. Because what are you going to do with your individuality in your hands? You have freedom now. What are you going to do? And what I see you doing with your freedom, you're calling guys for ratings, Shade Room Shorty. You are You are in the comment sections. You got way too much time in your hands. And what it's looking like, Shade Room Shorty, is you need a dude on your head. Because without that, you're mismanaging your freedom. Like you'll screenshot your homegirl's message even though y'all not friends no more? You fucking a married nigga? Why you telling his wife? Why you gotta fuck up everything, Shade Room Shorty? See, you're looking like you need a nigga over your head. Cause look how you move. Why you so messy? And then can't nobody tell you nothing. And we'll get into education without correction. You hella educated, but why you can't be corrected though? You got all the education, Shade Room Shorty, but nobody can't say nothing to you though. So that is a character flaw. So fuck the degree. For real, for real. You can't control your emotions. If the nigga married, he might not call your ass back. Why you messy? Why you screenshotting? You acting like you need a pimp over you to tell you how to move. Nah, baby girl, don't do that. Nah, that ain't cool. I do what I want to do. Be careful before you find your ass right back under Hammurabi's law. I just came to warn you, Shade Room. Let me see. Okay. A female's power, and this is the summary of Gerda Lerner's The Creation of Patriarchy. A woman's power and influence was determined solely based off of her sexual ties, meaning that sex was the only way a woman could earn power or influence for herself. The patriarchal power structure confines women to a domestic, passive, and ultimately powerless role, one which she is incapable of living. Centuries of social, cultural, and legal organization of genders created the patriarchal structures the world still lives in today. Women's widespread marginalization becomes the socially normalized, cross-cultural adapted status quo. Its origins are historical, not biological. The origins are historical, not biological. Women's biological imperative to raise children determine the social allocation of gender roles. However, it is the problematic development of this social allocation, cultural adoption, and legal enforcement of this practice spanning over centuries, which cemented patriarchy as the world's power structure. Is historical, not biological. Y'all should check out this book. This is and that was just a summary. This is called the Creation of Patriarchy: The Origins of Women's Subordination. And it's Gerda Lerner's. Her name is right here. Y'all should check that out. And maybe, just maybe, you'll get the confidence to not call people and ask them for ratings. Maybe you'll get the confidence to create your narrative, win or lose. See, that's the dope thing about being a guy. I do what the fuck I want to do. I win or lose based on my ideals. Mine. When y'all gonna do the same? We're gonna take a break real quick. And then we're gonna come back and I'm gonna talk about an interesting behavior that I see Shade Room Shorty do. And we'll talk about that right after the break. And yo, if you haven't shared the video, make sure you do that. If you haven't liked it, make sure you do that. This is Coin Gang. I'm Ken Billions.
I'm not gang related. I'm game related.
Word.
Game got me on my mama's house. Game got me traveling in this entire world, man, from Maine to Spain. Game got me out the hood, man. I done put the baddest on their back because of game. I ain't lying. So when these words come out of my mouth, man, and you hear them, it's gonna change your life. You're gonna feel better, think better, move differently. This is why I believe in value for value. So I give you the game, and you give me the cash. Fair exchange, no robbery. Can't build it.
We are back, y'all. How y'all doing out there? I hope y'all learning something. You know, I took me a few days to figure out how I wanted to come at this, because I'm gonna keep it a stack. It's hard to talk to women. Y'all victim queens, so it's a weird thing. Y'all queens and black girl magic and all that, but victims at the same time. So especially when you come from this culture, you can't say things a certain type of way. So I hope you getting it how it sounds in my head. All right. So I want to talk about something. I want to talk about the madness of groups. Because the Shade Room Shorty, as interesting as the Shade Room Shorty is, she's not an individual. She's a group. Friedrich Nietzsche says, madness is rare in individuals, but in groups, parties, nations, and ages, it is the rule. Madness is rare in individuals, but in groups, parties, nations, and ages, it is the rule. Woof. Hitler says, The crowd will finally succeed in remembering only the simplest concepts repeated 1,000 times. The crowd will finally succeed in remembering only the simplest concepts repeated 1,000 times. A charming woman doesn't follow the crowd. She is herself. Are you yourself, Shade Room Shorty? Or are you following the crowd? Are you this group of black women? This mob? Are you the beehive? You done freed yourself from the yoke of men and then you done ran into the black female collective. The madness is of groups. Where's your individuality, Shade Room Shorty? You don't have no Shiro's journey? Now I'm talking directly to you. Because anytime somebody says something to you, you turn into a whole group of black women. How the hell do you form Voltron like that? I'm talking to you. We as black women, ain't no fucking we. The only thing you share with other black women is a vagina and amnesia. Amnesia of what? Let me show you. Let me show you what you got amnesia over. Remember that book was talking about them fertility goddesses? Well, there they are right there. One of these is over 25,000 years old. Sex wasn't bad thousands of years ago. The image of the woman naked in her regular nature, this wasn't bad. They made carvings of it. This wasn't sin. In fact, so you know, sin is a moon goddess or a moon god. I don't know if it's feminine or masculine in the attributes, but sin was a god of the moon. I told you a lot of them concepts come from Samaria, Babylon, and Assyria. Shade Room Shorty, I'm asking questions. Are you this big ass group? Because every time I hear you talk, you talking about we as. Who are you talking about? You scared to stand on your own too, so you done got off the patriarchal plantation, and then you done ran your ass into level up groups. So I thought you wanted to be free. But that ain't true. You just didn't want to be up under no man. But you feel fine up being up under a bitch, though. You don't want no freedom. Because if you want freedom, you'll say I and me. Talking about you divesting. You ain't divesting. Why you keep talking about black men then? You ain't divesting. Not for real. Because if you was really divesting, you'll divest from them hoes too. If you was really divesting, you'll go your own way and win or lose with the decisions that you make, not the herd of black women. Shade Room Shorty. We at. If it's a we, then let your homegirl fuck your nigga then. If it's a we. Oh, it ain't no we. So you share all the black women trauma, right? Share your nigga then. Don't stop with the sharing. Right? You a group, right? Right? When a celebrity says that, oh, that they like light-skinned women, right? You take on that shit, right? And say, see, look what they say to us. So you share this collective pain with all these women that you don't know, right? It's a sisterhood, right? Share that dick then. Oh, that's what you ain't gonna share. You a scared little girl that don't know what to do with your freedom because technology has occurred. This technology has occurred and put the power right in your hands for you to be who you want to be. and do what you want to do at any time. But you want to run back up under niggas and women. You want to run up under men's channels and ask for ratings. And you let somebody put the fear of death and dying alone. If that's your path, man. Who cares? Who cares about dying alone when you live abundantly? Who cares about dying? We need to talk about living. Where are you going? What direction? Who you meeting? What you eating? What you look like? You see these images? Look at the one that says number 6. That says 23,000 BC. That is almost 30,000 years ago. Come on now. They didn't have a problem with the body. There wasn't this thing of body counts. That does not come into play until the acceptance of monotheistic philosophy of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And if that ain't your brother, cousin, uncle, or grandfather, why you following these people's God? Men appreciated it. This is appreciation, not controlling. It's appreciation. Because in looking in this, you looking at yourself, man. Because we come from a woman, don't we? So whatever's in her is in us. But because of monotheistic ideology and Abrahamic viewpoints, we think that women's nature is separate from ours. And it's the same, man. Don't they get hungry? That's nature. Don't they cry? That's nature. That's nature. Feminine and masculine, man, come on, man. That's just controlled by whoever's popular at that time. Get free, man. We in a whole new age where the world is changing right in front of our eyes. Why? Man, I don't give a damn about no BC time. I don't give a damn about Hammurabi, and I don't know Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That ain't my peoples, yo. But if that works for you, do it. There's some gems in there. But that ain't my beginning and end, though. That ain't my beginning and end. If you think that a woman spitting on the ground is not ladylike, that means that men control the image of women. People control themselves. Self-government. Individuality. That part right there. Especially if you a Negro in America, that should be something that we definitely champion, because true white privilege is to be able to define as an individual. A white dude do something stupid, oh man, Dan is crazy. He's an individual. Ken do something stupid, see, we got to do better, y'all. How the hell did I turn into a we? I could drop the link and we could talk and I could show you that historically you're wrong, bro. Respectfully. Historically, you're wrong, fam. You're wrong. Women did not always want to make themselves pickable. That's not true. That's not true, fam. That's historically wrong. Women did not want to make themselves pickable. That is the rise of agriculture and monotheistic religions. How did women always want to make themselves pickable when women historically were polyamorous? Everybody slept with everybody. You got to show me in history where women always wanted to make themselves pickable, not talking points, bro. But I'll drop the link if you want to chat though, because you're gonna have to open the books for me, not talking points, my G. With all due respect, you're gonna have to open the books. Show me the anthropology. Show me the archaeology. What people do is y'all like to use these stats, and that could be so manipulated. Show me the archaeology. Source up. Because I just sourced up with a scholar about the creation of patriarchy. And nowhere in that did she say what you're saying, fam. I'm just saying. I don't care about my ego. If it's true, it's true. Women ain't always want to be pickable. What does that even mean? What does pickable mean? What does it mean to get picked? What does that mean? What's pickable mean? What's that? Women always wanted to be pickable. That's to put emphasis on that they wanted to be married. You must have first got here. You must have missed the first part of the bill when we're talking about. You must have missed a lot. Okay, so you don't. My nigga don't care. My nigga don't care about archaeology or paleontology. You don't care about the findings on caves and shit. You don't give a fuck. You like, nigga, the talking points. All good, my nigga. Respect. You want to chop it up? We can chop it up. But the Shade Room Shawty, though. Look what the quote says about the groups and the madness of it. Because the thing about the Shade Room Shawty is you ain't an individual. You're a group of women. Madness is rare in individuals, but in groups, parties, nations, and ages, it's the rule. It's the rule. Wow. It's the rule. Let me tell you something. A group is for accomplishing a specific goal, not for an ideology. You don't have a group ideology. That's tribalism. And for thousands and thousands of years, people were stuck inside of tribalism. You don't inherit a group mindset to have that as the way that you see the world. You combine yourselves with groups for specific tasks, heavy on the specific, not as an identity. You understand? Get yourself out of groups. That sounds dumb. We as black women, what does that mean? Who are we talking about? Like I said, if you're going to share all the victim shit of black women and what we got to go through, man, who ain't going through something? But if you're going to share, right? If you're going to share trauma with all black women around the world, don't stop there in the sharing, sis. Share your man's dick with your sisterhood. Would you share that? Because you'll share that pain with a woman that you ain't never been through what she been through. But when it come to that dick, though, you ain't sharing now. But I thought it's all about the sisters. You see? Share it all the way around. You a group, right? Share that dick. All right then. All right then. See, I'm not sharing nothing with no niggas that's not combined with a certain thing. Hey, let's combine forces to do that right there. And when that is done, I'm not a group anymore. If we got to go to war, I'm a group. When the war is over, I'm not a group. I'm back to my individualism. I'm only going to be in a group when it's to accomplish a specific thing. And I'm going my own way. I don't want to be around you niggas. I'm not here for that. But mutual interests make us a group. I don't like that. You don't like that. Let's put our efforts together to solve that issue because we both got a problem with that. And when that issue is done, hey, holla at me when something else come up. After that, you go your way, I go mine. I'm not giving up my individuality for the group just to eat chicken and shit and listen to music together. No. No. There's another thing that makes you a shade room shorty. And it's your obsession for male entertainment, for the male dancer, right? Because with your freedom now, guys have tried to find a way that they got to get in where they fit in, right? So the only way to get in where they fit in is to be your entertainment. Because when you go on the Shade Room site, who's the popular dudes on there? Guys that entertain women. And I'm not that nigga. I'm not a male dancer. So after this break, we're going to talk about the male dancer. Because it's the male dancer that's aiding the Shade Room Shorty. We'll talk about that after this break. Don't let nobody trick you into thinking that you can't do it. Don't let nobody trick you into thinking that you was just born to suffer.
Right, right.
Don't let nobody trick you into believing that your dreams are impossible. See, when you got game, you can make the impossible possible. When you got game, you defy the odds.
Yo.
When you got game, you make things happen. Things don't happen to you.
Talk that shit, Ken.
All things is possible with game, baby. Take it from me. I done did it from Maine to Spain.
Come through the door with it.
My game cost me. I paid for it. So you should too. Hit that cash app. Pay like you weigh. Whatever you got is good, baby. Just bring it to the table. Can't billions. Black America in particular. To be a leader in Black America, you got to be a male dancer. If the women don't say you popping, then you not popping. And because niggas have to get in where they fit in, they like, fuck it. So they upload videos all day of male entertainment. And it's funny, because as much as women claim they don't like Kevin Samuels, why you share the video? Yes, you do. That's still male entertainment. You're still triggered. You're still share what you don't like. His platform ain't nothing without women's attention, because he used to talk to men before and give men pretty good advice. But it's dancing for women. Even if it looks like the women disagree, you still share it. You're still dancing. It's still dancing for women. And if you don't dance for women as a male right now, your money is going to be funny. Now, I challenge the Shade Room Shorty to stop liking niggas entertaining you. Where's the guys coming from the neck up? Where's the guys coming with the genius? Where's the guys coming with concepts and ideals that are outside of your college degree? What about that? Because ain't no love for him if he ain't dancing, if he ain't buying a Birkin, if he ain't buying a car. He has to be doing something to cater to the anxiety of the Shade Room Shorty, because that's what it is. Dance for me, I'm bored with your dancing. Next, dance for me, I'm bored with you. Next, dance for me. Come on now, Shade Room Shorty, you got all the freedom. You act. So why you only fuck with niggas that's entertaining though? His name is Albert Frank Cox, Shade Room Shorty. He was born in 1895. He died in 1969. Why am I showing you this? Because with Jim Crow popping, with the country going through racial fireworks, he still managed to be the first black man with a PhD in mathematics. Why'd I show him? Because he don't dance. He ain't got no challenges. He ain't liking a comment. He's somebody that you never knew. And since you are the one with the children, especially the male children, don't you think your son, Shade Room Shorty, needs to see some visuals of guys that think? His name is Albert Frank Cox. You might not know him because he ain't an entertainer. With race politics going on, he managed to get his PhD in mathematics. Did I tell you the year that he was born? 1895. Let me let you women on a little secret. These niggas are gonna do what you do. See, I was fortunate enough to put baddies on their back. Let me tell you what that has allowed me to do. That means I have a pussy tolerance. And I put some bad ones on their back. So it ain't nothing to me. But for the average dude ain't had the women that I had. And I'm just keeping it a stack. Because I was in certain lives. And I seen women in certain spaces. So the average dude is gonna kill himself for female attention. So, since that's the case, challenge the dude. Challenge the dude. Take the nigga out of entertainment. Let the dudes know that you don't like that clown ass shit, Shade Room. If you think I'm lying, go in the Shade Room right now. It's all niggas playing. And Aaron, I ain't gonna lie, my nigga. I know real men. And real men, quote unquote, cannot withstand no bad bitch. I'm telling you, my nigga. I know. Might be a man and all that. My dude, he gonna pillow talk and everything. A man's weakness is a woman. Facts. Even a real man. Even a strong man. So weakness is a woman. That's his desire. Comes out of a woman. He wants to be noticed by her. He wants to be needed. Don't let these niggas fool you, bro. Trust me. And then I got pretty homegirls. And I get to see the message of the real men. The blue checks. And these niggas is real soft in these comment sections. Oh man, yo, let me fly you out. Ooh. But we want to have above the neck people in our lives. Moving right along. Anybody know this man right here? See, because I want to show some guys that are not dancers and that are not joking. See, because one thing that the black male in particular in America does The black male is too much games and play. The black male has killed off his fucking image. How you go from Malcolm X, Huey P. Newton, Paul Robeson, John Henrik Clark? How you go from minds, great minds in philosophy, to all the games and play? You did that to your image, niggas. All you do is fuck around. That's it. Your image is trash. You don't look like a thinker, sir. You don't look like a problem solver. You look like a complainer and a boy. This is Maurice Ashley. He's a grand chess master. And the thing about chess is you have to compete with your mind against the rest of the world. Now, this is where men come sit down at the table and you get to see who's the greater thinker. China man, Asian man, Russian man, Irish man, African man, American man. And I'm from it. I'm from hip hop. I'm from the culture. And I'm going to say it. The black American male looks like the weakest intellectual man in the world. And you're living off Malcolm. You living off Garvey. If I want to understand you, I just go listen to your music. To like that shit, you got to turn your brain off. Okay, cool. Let me go to your platforms. What are you talking about? I got to turn my brain off for that shit. You mean to tell me in men's spaces, the thing that you choose to talk about is women's nature? Not, hey man, how does 40 look like? Do you know, coming from hip hop, we didn't plan on to be 40? You don't think these niggas need to know what it looks like to be 40 and 50 years old? And what happens when your beard starts having gray? What happens when you become married? What happens when your children turn 13 and 21? Y'all niggas having conversation about dating coaches. Meanwhile, you got males every day that don't know certain things, and they tap into y'all, and what do they learn? They ain't even expect to be that age. Now they're there, and you ain't got nothing for them, because you talking about who could get a man and who gonna die alone. Y'all some suckers. Straight up. I said it. Because if I was 18, 19, goddamn. What if I wanted to learn about hermetics? What if I wanted to learn about the 7 liberal arts? What if I wanted to learn about sacred geometry, yo? What if I wanted to learn about men's health and intermittent fasting? Who do I go to? Semen retention. Who do I go to? Ancient archaeology. Who do I go to? Why I gotta go to Michio Kaku to talk about astrophysics? Why I gotta go to Gary Vee to listen to NFTs? About NFTs, huh? Why I gotta go to Jordan Belfair to learn about sales and the straight line approach, huh? Why I gotta go to Bob Proctor to talk and listen to him about the science of belief and shit? Why I gotta go there? What does the black man talk about? Gossip. You know why? Because Hammurabi wrote a code for niggas. The Assyrians and the Babylonians wrote a code. The Hebrew doctrine wrote a code that you was a man, and because you had balls, you were entitled to a wife, submission, and all that. And now things have evened out, and you don't know what to do. And you don't know what to do with your freedom neither. So you talk about the women that you really want their attention. You really want the attention of the Shade Room Shorty. You love the Shade Room Shorty. You want her to submit. But you don't know how to get a woman on your own without the social, societal narrative telling her what to do. You ain't never had a woman choose up with her own individuality. So what you'll do is you'll talk about her weave and your hair and your makeup and all that. Man, your mama had a wig though. Some of y'all mamas used to come up to school in them muumuus, nigga. Some of y'all mamas used to be walking around in that kitchen sliding them fucking slippers. Rollers in her hair and everything. Stop fronting. Some of y'all mamas had a jerry curl with a bag on the seat in the car. Some of you niggas woke up in the morning and was going to school and seen a nigga come out your mama's bedroom. Some of y'all, somebody so dope to your mama. You and your sisters and brothers got different fathers. So I don't think you need to talk about the Shade Room Shorty. The reason why I'm talking about the Shade Room Shorty is because I did the work on myself and I ain't fake. And the Shade Room Shorty is not my woman. They just the homies. Nah, we'll fuck them if they throw me some put. Nah. Shit. I'm playing, but I'm serious. Who this? Who this right here? Who's this right here? See, because I wanna get the Shade Room Shorty away from the male entertainer. Who is this? See, because niggas, you have fucked off your image so bad that they don't even know that there's men that's melanated that have used their mind to do shit. Who is this? Who this man? This is an important person right here. In 1993, this man was worth $1.3 billion. I never heard of it. You know what's funny? There was a couple movies that came out around this time, right? You had shit like New Jack City, and then you had shit like Boomerang, right? How come niggas didn't want to be like Marcus Graham? Make that make sense. How come Marcus Graham is not a cultural icon in film like O-Dog, like Nino Brown, like Trey and Ricky and Boys in the Hood?
Think about this for a second. Marcus Graham was a young dude making money in New York City, had a studio apartment, was putting baddies on their back. His friends was also successful. I thought that was the nigga's dream. But Nino, though. Nino? I believe the character Marcus Graham was modeled after Reginald Lewis, the picture right here. Think about the movie Boomerang for a second. This was the early 90s, y'all. This was why Eddie Murphy's a legend. This was the early 90s, and Marcus Graham was getting money in corporate America. He was not the movie icon in urban America, though. Nino was, even though Nino was a snitch. South Central. We felt more for O-Dog. Huh? How we feel O-Dog was 17 selling crack. What did he have that niggas wanted? Marcus Graham had the high rise. Marcus Graham was doing his thing so bad, he had Tanisha Campbell as a neighbor. He didn't even want to smash it. He had options. What make it make sense? This is why I say the Negroes fucked off your image so bad, man. Shit, I bought into it too. We name ourselves after Nino and Al Capone and Billy Bathgate and Gambino, Scarface. Not nan rapper has named himself Marcus Graham. Think about that for a second. So at the same time, you can't blame the Shade Room Shorty for liking what she likes. Because for the last 25 years, niggas have made it their business to go the other way with their image. Do you know why? Because for some reason, in the gene of the Negro, success is white. It has been put into our mind that successful behavior is acting white. So when we got to compare Reginald Lewis, who in real life was worth $1.3 billion, right? He even wrote a book, Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun? We still wanted to be like niggas that was in a career choice that is the most failed career that a black man has ever done, which is sell drugs. Hell, shit, I was a failure at that shit because I went to jail. It's failure. That is a career choice that niggas have failed the most. But we will start from the bottom of it. Won't even start with a brick. We'll start with an 8-ball and try to grind our way up. But won't take that job at McDonald's though. Why? Why? What's in the mind that I will start from an 8-ball and get myself killed before I start at the bottom of McDonald's or Burger King or the Pepsi factory? Think about this, man. Think about that, man. I personally believe this is what made Eddie Murphy so ill. Because I believe that he created Marcus Graham character after him. It never said how much money he made in the movie. But damn, that was 92, 93. Brody had the flat top. Studio in New York. Some fly shit too. He had a say-so in his career. But that did not become what we wanted to be. Nah, Nino, my nigga. Just something interesting, you know? But this is Reginald Lewis. In 1993, he was worth $1.3 billion. I've never seen them post him on the Shade Room. And the reason why I'm showing this to the women, so you, Shade Room Shorties, with your newfound freedom and independence, you independent, right? You could do what you want. But I suggest you seek out, if you're looking, if you're interested, the dude with the best mind. He might not dress the best. He might not look the best. But he has the best mind. Who is this man? Anybody want to take a stab at it? Anybody? Does anybody want to tell me who this man is? See, if I put a little Boosie up, you would tell me. If I put Bow Wow or Draco up here, you would know who it is. Easy. Why? Because they be dancing for the Shade Room Shorties. Instantly, you would know who this person is. If this was Boosie on there, if this is one of the dudes that be dancing on the Shade Room, who you would know. Who is he? He's worth $11 billion. And he ain't rapped one song. But then I was hear you, black men, y'all don't build anything. That's because you're creating content talking about niggas that dance on the Shade Room. But you ain't making videos about Maurice Ashley that I just showed, or Reginald Lewis, or him. He's worth $11 billion. This is Aliko Dangote. He's from Nigeria. And he's balling out of control, using his mind in business, in Africa at that. Come on, y'all. Y'all could do whatever y'all want. Total autonomy. I'm just saying. I ran down how you got here. How you've been filtered through Hammurabi's law and monotheistic religions. We done talked about the role agriculture played in gender roles. We know how we got here. And now that you're here, you have freedom in your hands. You could do whatever you want. And I'm seeing a lot of you women fuck up your freedom to be the Shade Room Shorty. And you have dumbed yourself down so bad that you don't even know what to do if you're sitting in the presence of a man with a great mind. You don't even know what to do. You're going to play yourself all the way out. You don't even know what to do. You'll get an attitude if he tell you no. You'll get an attitude if he got a standard. This is Aliko Dangote. His worth is 11 billion. Anybody know him? And it's important that I show the Shade Room Shorties this because y'all got y'all sons. Y'all got these boys with y'all, these little dudes running around. And on the Shade Room, I see you dress your sons up. Right? You dressing them up like that's how you want your nigga to look. That's cool. What is he reading though? He know all the songs. Cool. Does he know this guru right here? You ever seen this man before? You ever seen this man? See, don't tell me that the only way you will find out about him is if you was fucking me. Now, do you need to be up under a nigga or not? Because if the only way that you will find out about the dudes that I'm showing you is if you and I were fucking, then what does that say, Shade Room Shorty? Maybe you don't need to be independent. I think you should be, but I don't think you handle it right. Because why do I gotta lay dick on you to put these people in your life? You should already be in your studies. I ain't saying you can't act shit. Yeah, I like to stand on couches too, right? This is the person that abolished slavery in Mexico. Fought against the Spanish. He was executed by the conservative class of Mexico. He's of Negro blood. He's actually, technically, the first black president in the Americas. Because you know it's three parts to America, North, Central, and South. So he's technically the first president with Negro blood. His name is Vicente Guerrero. Vicente Guerrero. Afro-Mexican. I just wanted to show some men that got some things done with their mind because it's too much dancing, too much male entertainment. I just wanted to put some different things in your life. All right? Because I don't want you to be out here with all the education, but no correction. And understand, correction exposes character. Because for real, man, what does it actually mean to be educated? When we say we're educated, what does it mean? Does it mean intelligence? If it means intelligence, then a lot of the products sold to women, you wouldn't buy it. So what does it mean when you say that you're actually educated? What's the metrics of that? If you're the most educated group of women, Shade Room Shorty, shouldn't your children also be the most educated children? Or no? If you are the most educated women, the most women that's entrepreneurs, shouldn't the children also be that? Or no? You're the most educated, but the children, they are misbehaving because they don't have their father. One more time. You just tell me if this makes sense. If you are the most educated group in the country, the most people out here becoming entrepreneurs, right? then that should show up not in your mouth, but in your children. I should look at your children and be like, who the hell is your mom? You are doing great with him, but that ain't the case. Because the most educated group of women have children that are misbehaving, and it's because they don't have a father in the house. That's the reason. Like, if you're the most educated, it don't matter if the father's in the house, because that child is also going to be that or not. What's history going to say about you? That's what I want to know. Because at the end of the day, you are the ancestors. So what is history going to say about you? And that's what I want to close out with. And we'll take our last break. And I want to ask you, what is history going to say about you? The worst time in my life was when my mama was laid up in the hospital dying. I just watched her decay. You know, it was crazy. And I was looking out the window and I seen planes in the sky. People was traveling. It was cars on the highway. People was traveling. People was on their phone, just doing human things, you know. The worst period of my life, the world was moving. It didn't stop for your boy at all. She ended up dying and I was sitting right next to her. I seen the life leave my mama. The life leave my mama. I can't unsee that. Man, I ain't got no fear. What could you do to me? You think I care what you think? If I could see that, you think I care what you think? That's why I ain't got no problem telling you to pay like you weigh. Sock it to my pocket. I'm charging for my pain. You ain't gonna sit up here and take my game from my pain and run off and break bread with somebody else. Nah, you break bread with me. Respect the game. I ain't got no fear, so I don't care what you think. It's time for that 20 piece. This that $20 call to action, man. Pay like you weigh. I'm mashing for my rations, always. Hey, before I close out, I want to say this. Like I started it, I grew up in hip hop, and there was never no separation of guys and girls. We kicked it together. Man, I caught licks with girls. We did everything together. So this space of separation, I don't get it, right? And I've been checked by women that's close to me, like, you wrong right now, bro. You wrong. That wasn't cool. You should apologize to that person, or nah, I ain't. And I've had women that was like, yo, I can't fuck with you right now because I don't respect what you're doing. That's real. And it ain't got nothing to do with being masculine or feminine. That's all. I don't do talking points. We be outside. I'm talking about people that was off the porch, hanging over by that little box. What's that little box in your neighborhood or in your apartment complexes? Everybody meet at that box. It's like a radiator or something. You know what I'm talking about if you hung over there. I'm talking about that. Yeah, that. Right? That's where I come from. Right? So when I check, it's from that. Yeah, that electric box. We was playing hide and go get it. We was dry hump, like all that. Watching Saved by the Bell, all that. Like, so all this weird ass shit, like, and where we come from, a trick was always a sucker. So any nigga say leave with your wallet, you was a lick. So all this shit is out of pocket to me. All of it. Leave with your wallet. Yeah, man, I'll send a bitch right at you. Like, yo, holla at this nigga. These niggas over there talking about leave with your wallet. You know why? Because where we from in hip hop, sex was nothing. It's something to these squares. It's special to y'all. My homegirls be like, yeah, nigga, I'm gonna knock them down, and that's what I come from. So to hear this weird shit is from you niggas that didn't jump off the porch. And y'all wasn't over at that green box. Cause you couldn't tell mama jokes. And you couldn't roast, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't be over there. But what will history say about you though? Because you the ancestors. And with this freedom that you have in your hands as an individual, understand, for the first time in 2,000 years, ladies, you are an individual. Your granny wasn't an individual. This is why they keep talking about the modern woman. They are trying to link you to women that did not have any agency over their life. Your granny, and why are they linking you to women that had no options? They want you to think like that. They tell you that your college degree and your PhD, shit that you had to sacrifice for and study for, we don't care about that. Well, what do you care about? Well, men care about looks. Well, if you care about looks, I got some homegirls I could send your way. And they're going to be all in your pocket and you're going to be heartbroken. That's all you care about? You wasn't over at that green box. That ain't shit. That ain't shit. So what will history say about you? Because it's going to be girls coming right after you. What kind of information are you leaving in your journal, sis? Like, what does a level up really look like? It can't be a car because they make new cars. And your new car turns to old car. It can't be a crib because termites come and eat the crib and water heaters break, right? And things happen with your crib. So it can't be that, right? So your level up can't be anything that depreciates. Your level up has to be something on the inside of you. A change from one state of mind to another state. You used to think like this, and now you think like this. They can't take that from you. You go broke, don't matter. You can get the money back. You lose a dude, don't matter. The world makes dick. Don't worry. Trust me, it's a manufacturing plant of men. You straight. Crib, they build them. Don't trip. So your level up is based on you going in a direction away from the group. And I'm going to tell you right now, homegirl, the group of women that you're fucking with, that's not your tribe. You will find the tribe of women that you should be rocking with on the individual path that you're on. And when you are on your individual path, y'all paths will go like this because they are on their individual paths. And your path is going to be one of abundance minus the trauma. You're not going to connect because y'all both dark skinned. You're not going to connect because both of y'all got raped or both of y'all had domestic abuse. That is scarcity. You're going to make a connection because you have mutual interest about the way that you see the world and the outcomes that you want in life. So what will history say about you? And with your freedom, don't just take the flaw of man's expression, which is, oh, my body and sex. That's one part of it. But one thing that a lot of men have been allowed to do that you haven't been is think about the Hall of Fame. Men have been thinking about the scoreboard. What happens with their name when they're gone? When are you going to think about that, Shade Room Shorty? What will people say about you when you're gone? Do you have a philosophy? If you've leveled up in life, can you teach it? Because if you really want to live forever, then you put your name inside the heart of the people and let them talk about you like they talk about Muhammad or Krishna or Zoroaster or Jesus. Our body is going to turn to ashes, y'all. But the ideals and our influence on people is what stays forever. So just like Moses had told Pharaoh, let my people go, I'm telling the shade room, let my sisters go. Come up out of the shade room. Come up out of uncertainty. Come up out of the group narratives. We as black women, ain't no we as black women. You didn't come out of your mama as a we. They done tricked you. You done gave up your individuality to put yourself with this group of individuals. They'll share all the pain with you, sis. But they ain't gonna share that dick, though. I thought your sister wanted you to have what she had. She ain't gonna share that nigga. But she'll share that colorism. She'll share that trauma. She'll share that. But she gonna keep the good shit for herself. Some heroes wear capes. Others got waves, man. Remember, you got to put something down to pick something up. My name is Ken Billions. Shade Room Shawty.
Biggest game, it's like, remember we was all back in high school? Some of you may be still in high school or whatever, but follow me. We had the regular class and then you had honors class. And I feel like Ken Billions' game is nothing but honors class. Everything that you learned in life and been through in life, or whatever he's talking about at that certain time, and, point of reference, game for guys. Everybody learn game from somebody and this and that, and it's all over the place. But once I listened to Game for Guys, it was like being in an honors class. Ken is a brilliant guy. I still listen to him to this day. Listen to him almost every other day. And I stay studying, and if I look at a video and he's giving us homework, I'm gonna look through that video. I'm gonna write my notes down. I'm gonna do my homework. Then I'm gonna watch the next video. I mean, you just can't get enough of the game and the knowledge that this brother brings to you. He's allowed me to look back into history, my own history. I found out about black people that I never even knew about, black millionaires and people like that. Recently, I learned about the reticular activating system, and that's something that I'm studying up on as we speak. Which I plan on reprogramming myself. You know what I'm saying? So overall, the Ken Billions game has done a lot for me. It's allowed me to elevate as a man, as a father. It just allowed me to be more excited about life and not be in the program of being oppressed. And that's one of the main things for me that I have to say that this game has done for me. And I'm so glad that I ran across it.